Hey guys, if you want to learn everything there is to know about living in Wells, Maine, when it floods or storms, click subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll be the first to know about real estate being affected by storms in southern Maine. A couple of weeks ago, we had high winds at high tide and the storm surge was pretty good. And I was boots on the ground for you to check it out. So let's take a look. But before I get into all that, my name is Michael Patterson and my partner is Margaret Patterson. We are realtors with eXp Realty and living in southern Maine. If you have questions about properties in Wells or the surrounding towns, just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or our favorite, schedule a Zoom. We can help you make a smooth move to southern Maine. All right, let's make sure everybody's on the same page. We all know where this video was taken, right up here in Wells, Maine, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from Boston if you're flying in from Logan, or 45 minutes from Portland if you're flying in from there. Guys, the wintertime, this time of the year, due to storms, inclement weather, fly out of Boston. Save yourself a lot of headache because Portland delayed flights, canceled flights. You'll be spending another day or two. So I'm going to fly in here into Wells, take a look at what we got here. We're going to focus on Webhannet. They call this area right here Fisherman's Cove, which is on the rocks. And I don't know why they call it Fisherman's Cove. I've been down here for many years and I don't see too many fishermen out there. But I do see seals this time when it gets a little bit colder. So I'm going to film along here and I'm going to show you what's going on along Webhannet because I lived in this area right on the beach, oceanfront for many years. So let's take a look at it. Tides on yesterday when I did this filming was about 2:30 p.m. It was about almost 10 feet. I've seen it hit over 11. But really what made a big difference in the storm was the increased winds coming onshore. And I've seen when the waves hit on the shore here, down by my house when I lived on this beach. This is on the rocks here, but I actually lived on the beach a little bit further down. I'll show you that house in a moment. The waves would break and the water would go right over the houses sometimes. It's crazy. And they're shaking the houses too when these waves break, guys. It's crazy. So I've seen the water in this area because you'll see in a second, everyone's boarded up their driveways to prevent the water from going down. So I've seen it at a foot here. And it was really tough to walk across this road because I was afraid I was going to lose my footing. And you're going to see evidence of that as I continue walking down the road here to give you more details. Now, right across the street, that house right there, you're looking underneath the foundation. Yeah, that got wiped out a few years ago. I have some footage on that in another video. It just, the water was coming so fast, it wiped out the foundation and the house almost got destroyed. So you're seeing as we head down Webhannet here, it's going to get worse because the water hits this area of the rocks even harder. And I had my mobile phone on a selfie stick so I could give you the footage as it breaks over the wall here. And so you'll see here as we come up on the boards that are basically blocking the waves from coming down these driveways. Now, sometimes they break the boards and, now the water's just coming down through and that's how it wipes out foundations and things like that. And I'll give you some footage on that in just a second. Cars that park, I've seen cars park over there and the waves are hitting them so hard, it just dents them and pushes them right into the middle of the street. There you go. It's like 6 inches of water, just coming through there in a torrent really, really fast. And look at that. It's just nuts. And, you would think it would affect real estate values a lot. It doesn't. Now, if you're looking at buying, you may not be interested in a property like this, but it really shouldn't scare you too much. Seeing the big tractors go by because, they basically have to move rocks and scoop up gravel sometimes that are basically taking over the roads. So as we come down here now, this is where it gets really bad. And I've seen the waves hit so hard, they go up and hit the top wires. And I've seen sparks fly and stuff like that. I seldom lost power down here, though, because the sewage plant is right across the street. So just never lost power, pretty much. So you can see the road there. You've got about 3-4 inches of water in some areas. This is where it's really bad. You can see they've got these cement barricades up there. And it's just, and this happens at least six times a year, I would say, And then if it's a perfect storm type situation, it gets much worse than this. And the houses do fine, most of them. The people that don't prepare, it'll cost them tens of thousands of dollars Some of them, they really can't prepare enough, and it's going to rip their porch off. It's really not much they can do. And so they just deal with it. It's just part of being on the beach. And if you're renting your property out at, I was renting mine out at over $13,000 a month, new construction right there, a lot of erosion. You got to put a $10,000 porch on, you do it, because it's basically a good investment being down here. Now, not all the beaches in Wells flood this bad. That's my house on the right. I'm basically trying to show you the water on the street here. And across the street, I own the parking over there. I sold the house back in 2018. That generator's new, and look how high it is because it completely floods. All of what I'm showing you will be underwater, and I'll show you some footage from 2018 and 19 in just a second. That pump house on the right completely goes about almost halfway up. So when you open those doors to get in that pump house, it's a cement wall 3 feet up. So so here's some older footage for you guys. Yeah, look at that. That fence, right? Water's halfway up it. It'd be tangled with seaweed, and people think it's the wind that blows it up there. It's not. It's floods. It happened Days Lane across the street. You can see that it's completely flooded. Cars get flooded. They get ruined, totaled. But you know what? If you know what's going to happen, or you're gone for the winter, basically prepare for this. Okay, now we're on Crescent Beach. And I'll give you some drone footage to see how beautiful this is in the summertime. All right, there you go, guys. Now that was my property right there with the white picket chairs. And so great living down here. I just decided to move to Florida. Guys, if you're looking to relocate to this area, I've got a relocation guide that you can download in the description below. It gives you details on each town, populations, whether or not there's any freshwater, lakes, rivers, and things like that. And whether or not it's a walkable town with a downtown area. A lot of them are remote. So you can download that in the description below. That's Kennebunk off in the distance, guys. And you've got a few miles of beach right out to the jetty. It's a long walk. It's a lot of fun. All right, back to the storm footage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan to the right. And I'm going to show you what happens. The water comes over so fast, it basically loosens up the ground, creates a slurry, and then it washes out the lawns and the dirt between the houses down into the street. Or if it's flooding enough, the waves will actually pull all the gravel back over the wall and into the ocean. So you can see, obviously, it's a few years of that happen. I had to put my camera down because I was getting I'm completely soaked at this point. So that was my property. And I'm just pointing out, you cannot put those wires on those fences anymore because it'll freeze, it'll create icicles, and then it's a blanket of ice. Waves will come and bust the entire fence, the entire length. But look at that. That's my house back in 2018. That's what happens. And I put up a second wall. You can see it right there, the waves breaking through it, because it was ripping up all my pavers and destroying my lawn. I put rocks in, it wasn't enough. So, you just have to prepare, work with a realtor that knows how to prepare for these storms and what beaches you need to be more prepared than others. This is Western Wells. It floods there as well. You just need to make sure you work with a realtor that's familiar with the areas and where it floods. Guys, we love putting these videos together for you. Please give it a like if you're finding it informative. Thanks. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. I hope you found it really informative. If you have a comment or a question, please leave it in the description down below. And until next time, Margaret and I hope to show you around town.